Where is our community needed? Where are our shortfalls? And they may not be in the medical space. They might not be in the legal space. They may be in areas like journalism, public service. Everyone's focused on just the raw mark, whereas I believe we should focus on, and which is what the school focused on, is building holistic students who can land in any environment and be able to succeed. People who can go out in the world and make real impact. My role as Head of Community Experience is to work with a team of great individuals to take our students out to the world and bring the world into Unity Grammar. Our job is to make sure that we take that learning to the next level, where they're able to not only learn from others who've experienced the real world, but actually go out to the world and experience and put what they've learnt into practice. And obviously, as a school which champions prophetic character, relentless learning, mastery, entrepreneurial spirit, global citizenry, these are values that we want our students not only to hold true to, but to actually be able to utilise them in the real world. As part of that, we also are in charge of the partnerships that we form with different organisations, the programs such as our Footsteps of the Faithful, our Cambodia humanitarian program, homeless runs, our aged care, respite visits. So there's a lot that we do in community experience. The whole idea of all our programs is to build empathy, global citizenry, and really showcase that there's a bigger world out there. But probably the one and the most impactful program, I have to say, is our Cambodia humanitarian program, because that really takes our students out of their comfort zone and it puts them into an environment where it forces them to have empathy, because all around them is obviously people who are less advantaged than what they are. So it forces them to really look at the world and say, you know what, I get to go home at the end of this, but these people have to stay in the environment that they're in. I had a student who, when I was a legal studies teacher, I taught her, lovely young girl, who was one of those students who was very quiet. If she was away, you'd probably miss her. That's how quiet she was. Again, in Cambodia, I think she found her voice because I started to see her talking, and I remember asking her, a few months later when I saw her at a charity event, I said to her, what changed in you? You're someone who's never spoken, you've never talked, yet I saw her going, and she was carrying an FPOS machine, going around to tables, asking people to make donations. This for me was a very touching scene, because having someone go from practically not saying a word to having the courage and the drive to go and speak to random strangers and asking them to make donations, which is a pretty hard thing, because when people say no, it's tough to take a no. She was going from table to table, from person to person, and it shocked me. And really, I asked her, and she actually said, I found something to use my voice for. One thing I really wish people understood is that it's not necessarily about the results. Everyone is very focused on the results, and as you're aware, students learn in different ways, and also not everyone has to be a lawyer, a doctor, or an engineer. We want everyone to have an entrepreneurial mindset. That's sometimes hard for parents to accept as well. I want my son or daughter to go out, get an education, go to uni, get a job, and be secure for the rest of their lives. Well, we want to challenge that narrative and say no. If you're going to go and get a job, be your own boss. It's not a bad thing for your child to want to go and take those risks early in life, because that's when they can do that. We want to go and do things that are bigger and better. We want to be more impactful. We want to have more impact not only on our students, but we want to have more impact on society. We want to be able to show the world that Unity Grammar does create pioneers, and give our students voice, give our students the leadership, the skills and the courage to be pioneers. We as a school cannot do it alone. We need our community with us. We need parents to be willing to step up, encourage their kids. We need parents to participate in our events. We have some wonderful parents in our community. We don't know what they do. And that's one of probably the call to action to our parents. If you're watching this, if you've got that skill set, or if you've got anything that you think would be great to share with our students. That's what we're here for. As community experience, we're here to give the students the experience, but we also need the community, because without you, we can only develop so much.